What if everything we think we know about UFOs is wrong? What if they're not visitors from space, but something far more complex and potentially dangerous? Computer scientist Jacques Vallee, the man who inspired the French scientist character in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, has spent 60 years studying this phenomena. And what he's discovered will change how you think about reality itself. Hey ufologers, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates. In a recent interview with the Soul Foundation, Vallee revealed cases involving mysterious deaths, a massive classified database of 240,000 UAP encounters, and his controversial theory that we're dealing with a control system that's been manipulating humanity for centuries. But here's the most chilling part. Vallee believes our very survival as a species may depend on figuring out how to communicate with this system, and time is running out.
When I started building the databases based on French cases and cases in Europe, and discussing it with people in French universities, that idea of is it a control system came up. The question that any scientist should ask, what is it? We have dozens of thousands of cases. So it's doing something. It's not hiding. It's in fact in full view. There are many cases where somebody is driving on the highway and something lands in front of the car. Okay, so this is not somebody hiding. This is very much in your face.
Vallee's latest book, Forbidden Science Volume 6, Scattered Castles, published back in January, reveals how his analysis of over 500 high strangeness cases led him to view UAP as a projection into our own reality, akin to a simulated environment. Vallee started as a proponent of the ET theory, the idea that UFOs are visitors from another planet, but analyzing thousands of cases revealed patterns that just didn't fit. The behavior was too absurd, too theatrical, too focused on psychological impact rather than scientific study.
The particular case involved something very strange. It involved discs, just like what people are reporting now as drones, except that those didn't have propellers, that appeared in the sky, and they seemed to exchange light rays. And they thought that this may be some new weapon that was being developed. And they started in the late 70s. In daylight, when they came to the site, there was a truck there with what they first interpreted as a dead body there, which may have been, maybe a decoy or something else. Someone had set fire to the truck. And there was a man there who was in a uniform and told them to go home and that there was nothing to see. But that was at the place where those beams had been exchanged at night.
Between 2008 and 2010, working under top secret clearance for the intelligence agency's Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, better known as ALSAP, Vallee and his team built something unprecedented, a data warehouse containing 240,000 cases from around the world, integrating 13 to 14 separate databases with translated foreign reports from 393 sources worldwide.
That structure was going to feed into an artificial intelligence system that would have two purposes. The first one would be to refine it, because nobody needs 240,000 cases to know that there is some sort of a phenomenon happening. We need, if we had 20,000 of the best ones, we could turn that over to the scientific community in different disciplines, from medicine to chemistry to architect to agriculture and everything else. And based on that, there would be a number of teams could feed from that. That was the idea. It was not done because we were cut off after 2 years, and I really don't know the current disposition of what we did. So at that point, the project terminated, and I should make it clear, I don't have any secret clearance or particular access, outside of that study.
The database included cases of UAP-related injuries or anomalies not publicly declassified. Then, after just 2 years and $22 million in funding, the program was terminated. The database vanished into the classified world, and Vallee confirmed the database's potential for AI-driven analysis of the top 20,000 cases, but emphasized its classification limits and its scientific access. What do you think happened to that database? Was it transferred to another program, or is it sitting unused in some classified vault? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Vallee has strong opinions about the current congressional approach to UAP research. Take a listen to this.
When is the last time science had to wait for a decision of Congress to study something? I mean, that's not the way a university works. You're doing some experiments. You in the course of those experiments, you discover the discrepancy. You study the discrepancy because it could lead to an invention or to a breakthrough or to a new theory of something. You have a patient in front of you who is dying of something that has not been recognized before. You document it. You don't call your congressman. So why are we spending all this time in Washington assuming that Congress is going to do science? This is not what we pay them for. This is not what Congress does.
That's a
Congress
fantastic
makes
point,
the laws,
Jacques.
and the laws may or may not have anything to do with science. So we're talking, they certainly have a role in this, which is very important, but we are misunderstanding the role of the legislator.
The criticism hits at a fundamental issue highlighted in the recent 2024 congressional hearing. Lawmakers are frustrated by lack of transparency from Pentagon offices like the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. But Vallee argues this misses the point entirely. Science doesn't wait for political permission. As he notes, when's the last time science needed Congress to approve studying a new phenomenon? You document the anomaly, you investigate it, you don't call your congressman. And this tension between political oversight and scientific investigation continues to hamper serious research. Perhaps Vallee's most sobering revelation concerning humanity's future was mentioned here.
We know that the phenomenon has been with us for a long time, maybe as long as humans have been on the earth. Raises a question of why do we see this concentration now? Well, now is the first time, now we're coming to a test. And astronomers have said, for many years, that in the evolution of a planet, in life evolving on a planet, we'll get to a point of discontinuity where it assembles technology to the point where it can destroy its own environment. And there are indications that maybe we haven't destroyed it, but we have committed a number of faulty decisions in our technical development and in our economic development that threaten our own existence on the planet.
Vallee believes we're at a critical evolutionary juncture, the point where a species either learns to manage its technology responsibly or destroy itself. Drawing from insights in recent scientific papers about the Great Filter hypothesis, many civilizations may not survive this transition. And the increased intensity of UAP activity, Vallee suggests, might be related to this critical moment. If advanced intelligences monitor developing civilizations, they would know we're approaching this make or break point. And Vallee's approach goes beyond passive observation. He built an observatory in Northern California trying to provoke a response from the phenomenon. And this is what happened on the last day of his research.
In the middle of the night, there was such a bright light that woke her up, and there were no curtains anymore. There was nothing on the windows. There was a light that brightened up the whole forest. It was intense white, tending to the ultraviolet. And she saw this and then told me about it. And it was like something very much alive saying goodbye. And that, there is a sense of humor in all the manifestations of UFOs. A sense of humor at a level which is difficult for us to accept.
The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. Nothing for years. Then this spectacular light display on the final night, as if the phenomenon was kind of winking at him. And this aligns with patterns noted by other researchers. The phenomenon seems to avoid scientific documentation while maintaining just enough presence to continue the mystery. And Vallee spent 6 decades studying UFOs and reached a revolutionary conclusion. We're not dealing with visitors from space, but with something far more complex, a control system that's been shaping humanity's consciousness throughout history. Whether this system is trying to guide our evolution, test our responses, or simply maintain its own hidden existence remains very unclear. But Vallee's research suggests our survival may depend on learning to communicate with it intelligently. The massive database his team built could have provided answers, but instead it disappeared into the classified world, and we're left with congressional hearings that treat symptoms rather than causes. Do you think Vallee's control system hypothesis explains UFO behavior better than the ET hypothesis? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Cristina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you next time. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoy the strange and the mysterious, UFOs, the paranormal, and cryptids, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe, as I do 3 videos right here every single week, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of the bonus content I post right here.